Ohio's highways. We depend on them more than we think, not only for personal convenience and safety, but also for a healthy, growing economy. It's in your best interest to make sure that new highway projects are started and existing roadways are maintained. But like most things in life, this task is easier said than done. Although Ohio's highway system is in need of repair and expansion, there are obstacles. Government regulation is just one. Insufficient funds are another. However, once you understand the necessity of highway improvements in Ohio and how additional funds can be accessed, improving our highway system becomes a reality. My name is Will Be Great, spokesman for a strong highway system here in Ohio. My job is to tell Ohio citizens just how important good roads and bridges are to jobs and economic security. In Ohio, the critical relationship between economic health and the growth and maintenance of our highway system is quite evident. Because of Ohio's geographic location, our state is a vital crossroads of commerce in the nation. In fact, Ohio is located within 500 miles of 75% of the nation's population and 70% of its manufacturing facilities. Within Ohio, key north, south, and east-west corridors link 8 major metropolitan areas and work to keep your economy moving. Without a safe, effective highway system, Ohio's commerce would be cut off from potential markets and materials. Simply put, our highways and roads keep us connected, like a life support system. Additions and improvements to Ohio's highways also serve to bolster the economy by creating jobs. Jobs in all sectors of the workforce, not just construction. It is estimated that for every $100 million invested in highway construction in Ohio, the permanent tax base is expanded by about $17 million, which supports schools and public services, and 2,060 jobs are generated. This figure includes jobs in construction, retail, service industries, finance, manufacturing, real estate, and more. Dedicated funding for highways does not reduce funding for education, social programs, health care, or other programs. But first, just how big is Ohio's system of highways and bridges? Within the nation, Ohio's highway system is one of the largest, boasting 113,565 miles of roads. Included in that are about 94,500 miles maintained by cities, counties, and townships, along with about 19,000 miles of state-maintained highways. Ohio has the 10th largest highway network and the 4th largest interstate highway system in this country. In addition, Ohio drivers travel an amazing 254 million miles every day, and that figure accounts for Ohio's number 5 ranking in terms of vehicle mileage. Without a doubt, Ohio's highways are one of your most used and most important assets. And how are you caring for your biggest public investment? Unfortunately, this asset hasn't received the attention and funding it needs in order to be maintained. As a matter of fact, much of Ohio's highway system is sorely in need of repair. Consider this: almost 25% of Ohio's bridges need to be replaced, and approximately 16% of state-maintained roads are rough and in need of reconstruction. Poor roads cost Ohio drivers $767 million in wear and tear each year. Keep in mind that these figures deal only with the need to repair existing roadways. They don't even touch on the new highway projects Ohio needs to undertake. Clearly, something should be done. It's necessary first that you understand current sources and methods of funding. There are 2 major types of funding: user fees, oftentimes called pay-as-you-go, and bonds, which at times are referred to as build now, pay later. Both methods are currently used in Ohio. In Ohio, as in every other state, user fees are attached to the price of gasoline to supply funds for federal and state highway projects. This user fee, or gasoline tax, is included in the price of gasoline and is automatically collected each time you buy gas. Ohio collects a state user fee on every gallon of gas to pay for state-supported road improvements. The federal government levies an additional tax for federal highway improvements. As Ohio's fuel tax is gathered, it is used to pay for the construction and maintenance of the state and local roadways not included in the federal system. State fuel taxes also pay all ODOT operational costs and are used as matching funds for federal aid projects. Under this arrangement, ODOT uses federal funds together with state or local funds to build or rebuild sections of highways. For instance, on many highway projects eligible for federal matching funds, state or local governments share about 20% of the cost, with federal funds providing the other 80%. Ohio's last user fee increase was in 1989 and has failed to keep up with rising needs and costs. One direct option for increasing highway funding is to adjust the state user fee. It is worth noting that under our state constitution, Ohio fuel tax funds must be used solely for the purpose of public road improvements. These funds cannot legally be used for other purposes, as they are in some states. Ohio's constitutional protection means that users of highways are assured that their gas tax dollars go only for highways and not for general fund purposes. This dedicated funding is the fairest, most accepted form of any mechanism used by governments. Only those who use the highways pay for the highways, and in a fair proportion. Ohio's local governments, cities, counties, villages, and townships raise additional funds for local government roads by taxing license tags. Local governments also share in about 25% of all state user fees. In addition, some traffic violation fines go toward funding local government road improvements. State funding increases can only take place by an act of the Ohio legislature. They may at times also involve a vote by the citizens. This would be the case when a bond issue has been recommended. Right now, the bulk of the funds for road improvement comes from user fees. However, there are other sources of funds in limited use. Toll roads, such as the Ohio Turnpike, have been in operation throughout this country's history and continue to be one way for a highway to pay for itself. Privatization is another source of funding presently being used. Under this arrangement, private entities, such as developers, agree to fund all or part of a highway project with the understanding that the construction will be administered by the government. The future of Ohio's highways will undoubtedly include innovations requiring a shift in funding sources. For instance, fuel alternatives to gasoline, along with increased fuel-efficient automobiles, will necessitate developing ways to make up for the resulting drop in gasoline taxes. Natural gas, electric, and even solar-powered vehicles must pay their fair share, as these vehicles use your highways. As of 1993, they pay nothing, but they do contribute to the wear on highways. Publicly and privately owned toll roads are another way of funding. With future use of intelligent vehicle highway systems, IVHS, assessing tolls will be as simple as scanning vehicles using the roads. In addition, there is likely to be greater partnership between the public and private sector in the future. Privatization and even privately owned toll roads are two examples. Another option is the implementation of impact fees. These fees are gathered from private entities whose operation or expansion makes highway improvements necessary. Alternative and additional means of funding must be a part of Ohio's future if road improvements are to keep pace with its growing needs. Now you know why your roads and highways are so vitally important for Ohio's well-being, and you know the challenges facing them. There is a bright future ahead, though, if we all work together. As a citizen, you must be informed on issues which affect your road system and support new highway projects and funding measures. Remember also that for every dollar spent on roadway improvements, the benefits are jobs, resultant taxes paid to the government, and an improved quality of life for us all. As my name says, when we work together, Ohio will be great.